Thanks for being here. Enjoy. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We'll wait a few moments before we get started. Thanks for popping in. I hope you'll stay for practice. I am going to step back so we can do a little sound test, make sure the headset is working well. No audio. Is that the same for everyone? No audio? Okay, so Sharon can't hear me saying. Okay, so I'm going to come back. That was fun. A moment of, uh-oh, what does that mean? Just making sure you can still hear me well from back here. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Can you hear well while I'm all the way back here? Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. Wonderful. Ah, thanks for being here today. What time is it? Yeah, we'll get started. Mm. If you are not here on Insight Timer with us, I invite you to join us on Insight Timer. For anyone that I'm getting to meet today, my name is Selena. This is a yoga asana session, the postures of yoga. It's a 60-minute session, and I always begin the 60 minutes after this little intro. If you need to leave early, I invite you to please take time for Shavasana or some kind of resting integration pose before you go wherever you go next in your day or night. Let's see. I have many ways to connect if you wish. I have several recordings. I actually was looking at something last night and I realized I have 82 different recordings here on the app. Many of them are meditations, some of them are talks. I lead live sessions each week. You can find my live schedule on my profile page. I also have two courses, a yogic practices course that is more meditation, mindfulness based rather than the physical postures, and also a self love course. We have anyone else having any freezing? It says I'm hardwired in and the connection is excellent. So that might just be something happening for Mod. Please feel free to let me know, and I'll do whatever I can to adjust it if it is on my end. Our group Okay, great. Thanks for the feedback. Our group on the app is called Love Heals All. It's a space to be together as community, and all are very welcome to join. So if you wish, I invite you to join us there. And I think that's all for announcements. In terms of this practice, it's listed as Vinyasa and it's listed as intermediate, which means I won't be taking the time to break down the poses for those who are less familiar with them. That doesn't mean that if you're newer to asana, you can't be here. My strong invitation is if you are unfamiliar with something, if you're uncomfortable with something, please just watch or do something else that feels good for your body. And no matter how advanced or beginner you feel you are, this is always an opportunity to honor ourselves, to honor our bodies and our needs. You don't need to be doing what I'm doing. If you want to modify a pose, I invite you to, how to say this, If you're going to modify a pose, please do something that you know is healthy for your body. Sometimes, we might say, well, I can't do exactly what she's doing, but maybe if I put my foot here and my hand there, I can kind of do it. But who knows what we're doing to our bodies? Yes, we might be twisting ourselves up or doing something that could actually injure ourselves. So when I say, take modifications, please take a modification you're familiar with, that you know is good for your body or safe for your body rather. And if you're not really sure what I'm talking about, please feel free again just to watch, to take a resting posture, or take an alternative posture that you do feel comfortable doing on your own. That's one of the things about being together for an online practice, especially one where I can't see you. Um, yeah, I'll leave it at that. So bottom line, thank you for honoring your body. This is not about comparison to me or any other person you've seen practice yoga before. All right, great. So, have whatever you like for your practice, blocks, blankets, bolsters, straps. Have it all. Use it anytime you like. Lastly, if there are ever any issues with the sound or the video that seem to be happening collectively, please just throw a whole bunch of emojis in the chat, and that will tell me to come back over here and see that there's something happening. Thank you. Okay, let's do this. Ah, let's start today in child's pose, Balasana. Take the knees wide, bring the big toes to touch, sink the hips back toward the heels. Walk your hands forward if that feels good and allow your torso to start to melt forward. We often hear this is a resting pose, which it absolutely can be, but for many of us, it doesn't really feel like a rest. It might be very uncomfortable. You might be getting a deep stretch in your hip flexors, your back, or other parts of your body. Maybe there isn't enough room for certain parts of your body to be in this pose together comfortably. So just be it in a way that works for you right now. Take some slow, deep breaths. And if you like, I invite you to say to yourself, today I practice accepting myself just as I am. Today I accept my body just as it is. Today I accept the emotions just as they are. Today I accept the mind just as it is. I practice making space for every part of myself, light and dark. I am whole. I am whole. I am whole. On your next inhalation, press down to rise up to all fours, wrists beneath shoulders. Bring your knees beneath your hips. You'll probably want to bring them in closer. Creases of the wrists are parallel to the top of the mat. Lift the fingers, spread them wide, root back down through the base of the index fingers and thumbs. Inhale, crown and tailbone lift up. Feel that front belly and body stretching. Exhale, press the spine to the sky, chin to chest, tilt the tailbone under. Inhale as you melt the belly and the heart down. Exhale, press into your knees and your palms to lift the back up. Continue at a pace that feels good for you. Breathe in and out of the nose. Even if you've done this pose thousands of times, can you find something new in it today? Sometimes that just means being more present rather than being on autopilot, really feeling micro movements, sensations, root down through the base of the index fingers and thumbs. Lovely. Make your way back to a neutral spine. Walk your hands far forward. Keep the hips high. Melt the chest down. Maybe keep the arms straight if that feels good. Relax the head and the neck. Draw the navel toward the spine. Shoulders pull away from ears. Slow, deep breaths. Inhale as you press into your palms. Bring your elbows and forearms down so that your elbows are underneath your shoulders. We have this nice, what is this called? Like a line here, as if your shoulder is the top of the table and your upper arm is the leg of the table here. We're setting up for nice weight transfer. Plant the palms down if that feels okay. Draw your navel toward your spine. We're going to work into a forearm plank here. If you're still working on this, you can play with just extending one leg back at a time. Really draw the navel toward the spine. Alternate after a few breaths. If you're doing the full plank here, extend both legs back. Really press out through the heels. Draw the navel in. Lower the hips so we're coming in alignment with the shoulders here. Press down into the forearms. Very nice. And let's squeeze the glutes a little bit of activation here. Gazes down at the floor. Keep pressing back through the heels. Keep pressing down into the forearms to lift up and out of the shoulders. Draw the navel in. Press out through the heels. One more breath here. And lower it down. Release the thighs down. Moment here in Sphinx pose. If this is too much of a stretch for you, you can always relax your chest down and feel the shoulders kind of hunching up. If this feels okay, you can press down into the forearms a little bit so you lift up away from the floor. I see some comments coming in, but again, I can't read them here from here. So I'll read all comments at the end of practice unless there is an issue. Yes. Lovely. Make your way down onto the belly. Bring the arms along the body with the backs of the hands on the earth. Bring your forehead to the mat. Legs come closer together. Feel your shoulders pulling down away from your ears. Press your pubic bone down into the mat. And now let us lift up through the upper body, waking up the back body here. Keep the chin slightly tucked so the back of the neck is long. If the shoulders are dropping forward, start to draw them back like you're trying to touch the shoulder blades behind you. Great. Activate the glutes. You don't have to squeeze them too much, but you'll feel that as you wake up the back body, the glutes naturally start to engage. Maybe lift yourself a little higher and lower down. Bring one cheek to the mat. Rock yourself a little side to side. Release. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Release any rocking. Just be still for a moment. Become aware of what is waking up in your body, what's happening in your mind and your emotions. Hmm. Wonderful. Now we'll move into Ardha Shalabhasana again here, except this time we'll have the arms up alongside the ears. If that feels like it's too much for you, you can do the exact same posture that we just did with the arms alongside the body. Bring your forehead or your chin to your mat. Arms extend up along the ears with the thumbs pointing up toward the sky. Legs are closer together. Press your pubic bone down firmly into the mat and then lift the upper body. Now, again, this might be too much, so you can always have the arms back here. Really active arms, gaze is down at the ground, lift a little higher. We're not lifting the legs yet. We're warming things up. Breathe deeply. Lift a little higher and lower it down. Opposite cheek to the mat, arms along the body. Rock a little and then be still. Let it all go. Feel the weight of the body just melting down. Notice if you feel maybe more energy or some sense of movement inside. All right, last round here. This time you can choose that first option with the arms alongside the body, the arms up by the ears. Or if you'd like to add on a little more, we'll move into full Shalabhasana, lifting the upper body and the lower body. Bring your forehead or your chin to the mat. Take whichever arm position you wish. If your arms are up along your ears, the thumbs point up toward the sky. Legs are closer together. Press the pubic bone down firmly, and then lift just upper and lower body this time. If the legs are lifted, bring them a little closer together rather than letting them splay wide. Lift a little higher. Gaze is down at the ground. Let's keep the neck as relaxed as we can here. Active arms. Beautiful, everyone. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And lower it down, arms alongside the body, opposite cheek to the mat. Let it all go. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. And notice what you're feeling inside. If there's ever a lot of agitation, emotionally or mentally, these postures can really help to move that stagnant fire energy, that pitta energy. Lovely, everyone. Tuck the toes under, bring the forehead of the chin to the mat, bend the arms, plant the palms next to the rib cage with the fingers pointing toward the top of the mat. Press into your hands to lift yourself up. All fours. Let's make our way into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Bend one knee at a time. Reach the opposite heel back. Move side to side here. Draw the navel toward the spine. You might notice that your downward dog feels a little different today, having done all of those postures to really wake things up inside before coming here. Maybe not, though. There's no right way to have an experience. Beautiful. Reach the heels down toward the mat. If there's a lot of tension in the legs, the glutes, the back, or the chest, I invite you to bend your knees. We'll all press the chest back toward the thighs. Hug the navel in toward the spine. Creases of the wrists are parallel to the top of the mat. Keep rooting down through the base of the index fingers and thumbs. Maybe the inner elbows start to roll forward. Shoulders draw up away from the ears. So there are so many little active cues we can use here. You can remember the ones that serve you as we move through our practice. If your heels are comfortably on the mat, you can start to draw them apart a little to activate the legs. Full deep breaths. One more breath here. Inhale, look forward between the hands. Exhale, bend the knees to step or lightly hop to the top of the mat and fold forward. Draw the navel toward the spine, press into the heels to rise all the way up. Option to bend the knees, palms touch. Exhale, hands to the heart. Draw the navel in. Take a moment here just to notice. Here I am standing. What do I feel inside? Inhale, reach the arms up, lengthen. Exhale, swan dive, option to bend the knees. Fingertips to shins, flat back, weight in the toes, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the palms, step, or lightly hop back, high plank. Lower down through the knees or through chaturanga, all the way to your belly to come up cobra or thighs lifted for upward facing dog. Make your way up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Big toes touch. Inhale the right leg up and back. Press out through the ball of the foot. So we're diving in already because we've warmed ourselves up quite a bit. Bend the right knee, stack the hips, right toes fall behind. Breathe deeply. Inhale, square the hips, lengthen the right leg. Stay here, bring the knee to the nose, high plank. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cross the body, left elbow. Remember, this is optional. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, softly step the right foot through between the hands. Lower the left knee. Left knee. You can fold that mat over if you need a little bit of support here. This is a nice posture where if you can't reach the floor, you can use 2 blocks if you have them. Ooh, some nice wind out there. Draw your navel toward your spine. Press your hips forward. Maybe right knee is above right ankle. And chin is slightly tucked. Back of the neck is long. Breathe here. We'll just wake things up a little bit. You can bring your hands to your hips. Press your hips back. Extend through the right leg. Drop your right hip down. Very nice, everyone. Keep drawing that navel toward the spine. Take care of your back. It's okay if you're up like this, no issue. Soften your face and your jaw. Rock your weight forward. Come back to your low lunge. Press the hips forward. Extend back, hands to the hips, draw the navel toward the spine. Wobble a little, maybe. It's okay. Drop that right hip down. This is really helpful here. Create some length on the right side of the body. Allow a space between the teeth. Release any clenching or gripping. Great. Rock yourself forward. Come back to your low lunge. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the back knee. Step the right leg back, lower down to your knees or through chaturanga. Move through your vinyasa of choice. Again, if you're choosing cobra, I invite you to have the pubic bone rooted, or if you're choosing upward facing dog, thighs are off the mat. Adho Mukha Svanasana, big toes touch. Inhale, the left leg up and back. Press out through the ball of the foot. Shoulders pull up away from ears. Draw the navel in. Bend the left knee. Stack the hips. Toes fall behind. Square the hips, lengthen the left leg. Stay here. Bring the knee to the nose. High plank as you exhale. Inhale up and back. Exhale, left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cross the body, right elbow. Inhale. Exhale, softly step the left foot through between the hands. Lower the back knee. Option to fold your mat over. Ankle is below knee here. Press your hips forward. Use your blocks if you need that support. And breathe. Soften the face. Very nice, everyone. Hands to the hips. Press your hips back. Extend the left leg. Drop that left hip down. Aha. Very good. Draw the navel in. Again, you might be up here. Totally fine. Wherever you are is great. Keep dropping that left hip down. And if that's not clear, the reason we are dropping the hip down is because many of us come into these postures with the hip really lifted. So by dropping the hip down, we're squaring the hips and we're also creating length on the left side of the body rather than having it all crunched up. Or at least that's what we're going for, yes? Release the hands down. If possible, you might not be able to reach yet. Press the hips forward, come back to your low lunge. Sink into this pose. Allow a space between the teeth. Breathe. Mm. And press it back. Extend through the left leg. Hands to the hips for balance. Drop the left hip down. Draw the navel in. And the reason I'm leaning forward here so much is because I have more than less. um quite a bit of flexibility in my hamstrings. So for some of us, we're feeling the stretch right here. Hang out there. For me to actually feel any sensation of a stretch, I really need to come forward. So it's not about some cool addition to the pose. It's just my body. Yeah. So you be with your body. Yes, please. Very good, everyone. One more breath here. Make your way back into your low lunge. Hmm. Notice if this feels any different. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knees, step your left leg back, move through your vinyasa. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's take 3 slow breaths here. Inhale, look forward between the hands. Exhale, bend the knees to step or lightly hop to the top of the mat, fold forward. Draw the navel in, option to bend the knees. Inhale to rise all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to the heart. Bring the big toes to touch, heels are slightly apart. Draw the navel toward the spine, palms touch. Inhale, reach the arms up, sink the hips back and down, Utkatasana. Bring the weight back into the heels. Very nice, everyone. Palms touch at the heart. Cross, let's see, what is this? I'm trying to figure out, this is where we want to go. No, this is where we want to go. Cross your right elbow over your left knee. It's funny when something goes from being intuitive to just disappearing. As much as you can, go for crossing your elbow over your knee, I should say. Sink your weight down a little bit more, bend your knees, draw your navel in, lengthen your spine. Very nice. Very nice. Hmm. Bring your weight over into that left foot, and as gracefully as you can, step your right foot back, coming into our lunge here. Lengthen the spine. Beautiful, everyone. Allow a space between the teeth. Maybe smile a little here, even if there's fire. Sink it down a little deeper, maybe. Hmm. Inhale, reach the arms up, face center, crescent lunge. Exhale, lower the back heel, turn your hips to the right side of the mat. Virabhadrasana 2, sink it down into that left knee. Again, hips are square here. Stick your tailbone up behind you, tilt it under, sink it down deep. Arms extend out to the sides. Gaze is over left middle finger. Beautiful. Turn your left toes in. So now both toes or both feet are pointing to the right side of the mat. Interlace your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders up and back. Maybe begin to extend and lengthen the arms. Turn your toes in just a little here. Draw your kneecaps up. So activate the thighs. Inhale, lengthen the spine up. Exhale, hinge forward. Keep drawing those kneecaps up. Draw the navel toward the spine. Maybe start to lift the knuckles up and over the spine. Breathe deeply. Draw the shoulders away from the ears by feeling like the shoulder blades are trying to touch. Breathe. Maybe lift the knuckles a little more away from the spine, maybe over the head. Wonderful. Press into the feet. Feel like the knuckles are lifting you up toward the sky as you rise up. Release the hands. Allow them just to float by the sides for a moment. Feel this aliveness, this radiance in the body. Great. Turn your right foot toward the back of your mat. Back toes turn in slightly, sink down. Virabhadrasana 2. Extend the arms out to the sides, gazes over right middle finger. If you haven't already, you can still tilt your tailbone out behind you and tuck it under, finding that length, and then sink it down. Shoulders relax away from the ears. Very nice, everyone. A little bit of play here. Come up, straighten your front leg a little bit. You can heel toe your back foot in just a little here, just like one foot worth. And then lift your back heel. Make your way into your crescent lunge, now facing the back of the mat. Reach the arms up, draw the navel in. Palms touch, bring them down in front of the heart. Cross your left elbow over your right knee. Find yourself back in your twist here as you lunge. Very nice. Sink it down. Keep pressing out through that back heel. Of course, you can always lower the back knee if that's what you're needing or wanting. Great. Reach the arms up. Hands to the hips. Press yourself forward to bring your left foot all the way up to your right. Big toes touch, heels are slightly apart. Sink your hips down, reach your arms up. Utkatasana. Inhale, rise all the way up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to the heart. So you see what we did there, yeah? We're going to do it again to bring ourselves back to the top of the mat. A little bit of play with direction here, some brain food. So the big toes are touching, heels are slightly apart. Draw the navel toward the spine. Inhale as you reach the arms up, sink the hips back and down, Utkatasana. Weight back in the heels. Palms touch at the heart. This time we cross left elbow over right knee. Sink it back and down, lengthen the spine. Very nice. Breathe here. Weight is in the heels. That's what I mean by sink it back. Bring the weight over into the right foot, and as gracefully as you can, step the left leg back, coming into your twist and your lunge. Lengthen the spine, shoulders away from the ears, press out through that back heel. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, open out, Virabhadrasana 2. Back toes are slightly turned in. Right toes point to the back of the mat. Arms extend out to the sides. Drop that tailbone down. Gaze is over right middle finger. Inhale, reach the arms up, straighten the front leg. Turn the right toes in. So now we're having both feet face the right side of the mat. Release the arms down. Turn the left toes toward the top of the mat now. Back toes are slightly turned in. Hips are still square toward the right side of the mat as you sink it down. Virabhadrasana 2. Gaze is over left middle finger. Excellent. Straighten that front leg. Bring your back foot in just a little so that you can lift your back heel to now face the top of your mat. Find yourself in your crescent lunge again. Reach the arms up. Draw the navel toward the spine. Palms touch. Bring the hands down to the heart center. Cross right elbow over left knee. Lengthen the spine. Breathe. Little bit of heat building today. Very good. Let's reach the arms up. Bring that back foot in a little bit so that you can step it all the way forward. Right foot meets left. Big toes touch. Heels are slightly apart. Draw the navel in. Sink the hips back and down. Reach the arms up. Utkatasana. Press into the feet. Rise all the way up. Palms touch. Bring the hands to the heart. Pause here for a moment. If you wish, close the eyes, micro bend in the knees. Notice what's happening inside. What kind of movement is there? Is there agitated emotion rising to the surface on its way out? Is your mind getting caught in judgment? Are you feeling more ease, flow, peace? There's no right way to have an experience. Just notice. Mm, Beautiful. Inhale, reach the arms up, lengthen, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive, draw the navel in. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the palms, step or lightly hop back, move through your vinyasa. Lower down, come up, cobra or upward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Draw the navel in, big toes touch. Inhale the right leg up and back. Bend the knee, stack the hips, toes fall behind. Inhale, lengthen, square the hips. Stay here or bring the knee to the nose, high plank as you exhale. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, right elbow. Inhale up and back. Exhale, left elbow. Beautiful. Inhale up and back. Exhale, softly step the right foot through between the hands. Bring the hands to the hips. Front knee is still bent a little. Draw the navel toward the spine. Bring your back foot in as much as you need to rock your weight into your right foot. Flex your left foot as you lift it off of the ground so the left leg is really active. And then let us really hinge forward here. Virabhadrasana 3. Draw the navel in. Drop your left hip down so it's in alignment with the right. Nice little balance play here, friends. Micro bend in that right leg. Breathe deeply. Release the hands down to a block or the floor. Lift that left leg up, standing splits. Maybe you'd like to take your right hand behind your right ankle, maybe your left as well. Feel free to play with your balance as you lift the left leg up to the sky. Keep squaring the hips rather than really opening the hips here. Keep dropping that left hip down as you lift it up. Breathe. Maybe the forehead comes toward the right shin. Bend the right knee. Gracefully step that left leg all the way back. If your hands are on a block, bring them down to the mat. Here we are in our lunge. Bring the right leg back. Option to keep it lifted as you lower through your vinyasa. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Big toes touch. Inhale the left leg up and back. Bend the knee. Stack the hips. Inhale, square the hips, lengthen the legs, stay here. Or exhale, knee to nose, high plank. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, cross the body, left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right elbow. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, softly step left foot through between the hands. Hands to the hips, back heel is lifted. Bring that back foot in as much as you need to be able to bring the weight into the left foot. Lift the right. Flex the right foot and leg as you hinge forward. Virabhadrasana 3. Micro bend in the standing leg. Shoulders drop back. Keep squaring the hips by dropping that right hip down. Breathe. Lovely. Bend the left knee. Bring the hands down to the block or the floor. Lift that right leg up, standing splits. Maybe one or both hands come behind the left ankle as you bring the forehead toward the shin. Very nice. Bend the left knee. Reach the right foot all the way back. Both hands touch down. Step the left leg back. Option to keep it lifted as you lower through your vinyasa. Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 slow, deep breaths. Very nice. Bring the knees down to the mat. We're going to move into a deep inner thigh stretch. For this, I invite you, well, if you're on a very thick kind of soft carpet, if you have your mat on a carpet, you probably won't need this. But if you are on a floor like mine, like a tile floor, hardwood floor, linoleum, something like this, I invite you to have a towel. I'm going to use this small towel folded up. It offers enough support for me, but I invite you to have a towel that's thick enough so that you can place one of your knees on the towel and still feel support and the ability to slide. That's what we're going for here. We want a little bit of support so you don't feel the hardness of the floor and also the ability to slide on the floor. So if you don't have something like that, please get it. And I would say this is a requirement. Yes, it's not really, but it will surely make this pose much more feasible. Hmm. Um, our bodies are so fascinating in so many ways. And often we have pain or issues with certain part of the body, and we think it is only about that area. So, for example, let's say that here's a very, very common one. I have knee pain, right? Many of us are thinking, oh, I have knee pain. There must be something happening right here in the exact area of the knee that is problematic. Now, of course, sometimes that is the case, right? Sometimes there's some inflammation in a tendon or there's some micro tear. So sometimes it is really about that area. There may be other things happening as well. So I'm giving a general example here, but let's say that I'm thinking it has only to do with this area. But often what people will find is the reason they're having knee pain or even ankle pain sometimes is because the quadriceps or the adductors or the muscles here in the thigh are actually so tight that they're pulling on that joint, causing that pain. And if we stretch something up here, it might completely alleviate, for example, ankle pain that we're having. So if that's not already part of your self awareness practice, I invite you to consider that. Again, maybe what you're experiencing really is just about that specific area to a certain degree, but it can't hurt to have some inquiry, right? All right, I've been having this aching shoulder thing for some time. Is it possible that there's something else going on? Is it possible that it's rooted in my neck? Might it have something to do with my pec muscles? Yeah, so we can explore this. All right, hopefully that gave us enough time to all have some kind of padding. This pose is often referred to as froggy pose because we're making a bit of a frog shape with our bodies. I'm figuring out where to be so that you can still see me in the camera. Let's start with the right knee on the mat. Bring your left knee to your towel, or again, if you have a very thick, slippery carpet, bring it to that. So right knee is on the mat, left knee is on your support. Have the knees parallel here. And we're going to start to, with the knees still parallel, start to slide the knee out. So this knee that's on the carpet or on the towel, start to slide it out. And rather than bringing your weight forward like this, see if you can keep this 90-degree angle here. So you can see that my hips are still pressing back enough. Let's see, my knee is about to go out of the camera, but I think I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more. So we're opening the knees nice and wide if that feels comfortable for you. If this doesn't feel comfortable for any reason, no issue. There's no need to do it. Once you find your knees out to kind of your max stretch where it feels safe and not too much of a strain, not a strain at all, maybe a strong stretch, I invite you to turn your toes out to the side. So you can see here, rather than my toes being tucked under, I'm actually turning my foot out to the side. So I'm resting on the inside of my feet. Now, for some of us, we're out here and we're not feeling very much. So what I invite you to do is start to press your hips back toward your heels. Once you find that stretch that feels manageable, you can either hang out here on your hands or come down onto your forearms. Draw your navel toward your spine a little. Feel your hips gently pressing back and breathe. Now, if it feels safe, you can pulse a little bit here like a little frog, or you can just hang out. It takes a minimum of 20 seconds for muscle fibers to start to lengthen. So we're going to hold this pose for a little while. If you feel like you need to come out before I do, you can come up to your hands and then use the support of this left knee being on something more slippery to bring that knee in. You can keep your right knee rooted on your mat. Slide your left knee back in to be able to come out of the pose. Relax your jaw, your face. And again, if the pose starts to feel like there's not much happening, you can always just press your hips back a little bit toward your heels. Doing great, everyone. Remember, if you need to come out before I guide us out, that's perfectly okay. Honor your body, be mindful, be slow. You might notice that your hips are dropping down more and more, your knees moving a little wider. Great, and then here's the tricky part coming out of this pose. I'm going to come back up to my hands, and then I'm going to press down into my hands. I'm going to bring my toes in a little bit, my feet in a little bit for support. And then I'm going to slide that left knee back in toward the mat. Whew. Oh my goodness. And then I'll bring that left knee onto the mat and just rock the hips a little side to side here. Ooh, dang, those hip flexors. I feel that. I imagine you do too. Let's just take a little bit of relief here. Walk your hands a little further forward. Press your hips forward and then press them back. Just a little bit of opening here in the front of the hips. You see, I'm not crunching my low back. Wonderful. And then we'll move on to the second side. So I'm going to turn around so that I can stay in the camera frame. This time, your left knee stays on the mat. Your right knee comes to your carpet or your towel. And again, the hips are square here to begin rather than one knee being further forward. Start to slide. Let's see, I'll come in just a little further. Start to slide your right knee out. And then once you find that maximum position where you feel like you're ready to hang out, turn your feet out to the sides and look back. You can probably see it in my body here, but my ankles are in alignment with my knees. So rather than being in or out, I have this nice 90-degree shape. I'm on the insides of my feet. And then option to stay here or come down to the forearms. Such a important and healthy pose. And for me, at least, one of the most intense. Allow space between the teeth. Breathe deeply. Again, you can pulse a little bit and you can also press your hips back toward your heels. What is something kind you can say to yourself here? Maybe a gratitude for your body or just something compassionate for wherever you're at today. And you can probably imagine that this isn't necessarily, well, it's not really a two-sided pose, but by doing what we're doing, we're allowing ourselves to have a deeper experience of the pose. I'll stay here for just a couple more breaths. Wonderful. Palms down, bring the feet in a little. Slide that right knee in. Whew. Bring the right knee onto the mat. Ah, move the hips a little side to side here. Holy moly. Hands further forward, press the hips forward and back. Ooh, my goodness. Ah, let's move into pigeon pose. If you're unable to do pigeon pose for any reason, I invite you to come onto your back and take a reclining pigeon or figure four stretch or anything else that works for you. From all fours, bring your right knee up to your right wrist. Walk your right foot out so that it's in front of your left hip. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee, wiggle that back leg back so your pelvis comes closer to the earth, possibly. And then release that back leg. If one or both hips are lifted here, I invite you to keep them lifted, keep the hips square. You can always place something under them if that's more comfortable. Let's keep them square. If there's any sharp pain, please come out of the pose gracefully. There's no need to force. You can stay here, or if it's comfortable, begin to walk yourself forward. Maybe you'd like to make a little pillow with your hands, your soft fists. Breathe slowly, deeply. What is something kind you can say to yourself? Mm. On your next inhalation, slowly walk yourself up if you're forward. We'll change sides, tuck your back toes under. Bring your left knee in closer so you can bring your right knee back. Take a couple of circles in each direction with that right knee. Mm. Bring it down. Left knee comes up to left wrist. Walk the left foot out so the left foot is in front of your right hip. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee, wiggle your leg back so the pelvis comes closer to the earth. Again, keep the hips square here. Option to stay here. Begin to walk yourself forward. Slow, deep breaths. Consciously relax any gripping or clenching through the body. And again, what is something kind or loving, even, that you could say to yourself? I believe yesterday was World Mental Health Day, and so much of our mental health is rooted in our self-talk. So let's practice compassion, kindness, acknowledgement, acceptance. On your next inhalation, if you're forward, slowly rise up. Tuck your back toes under to bring your right knee in closer. Left knee comes back. Take a couple of circles in each direction. Left knee down, walk your hands further forward. Just press your hips a little forward and back. And you see, I'm not going into a really deep press forward with my hips here, just to open up the front of the hips a little. Make your way onto your back and the legs down the mat. Take the feet wide, toes fall out to the sides. Arms along the body. You can tuck your shoulders under if that feels good. Palms face upward. Allow some space between your arms and your torso. Close your eyes, and if you like, you can kind of wiggle your body a little bit so that any unconscious tension is washed away or kind of shaken out. Just gentle wiggling from the head to the toes. And find stillness now. Feel your body becoming heavier and settling. We'll take a brief shavasana. Allow your thoughts to pass like clouds. Nothing to fix or change or hold on to. I can just let it all go. Whatever it is, whatever it is, I can let it go. Just for the next few minutes. If it feels hard to let go of it, maybe just think of it as I give myself permission to be with nothing to do for these next few minutes. Going deeper and deeper, dissolving into stillness. Stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. If you're ready to complete, start to deepen your breath. Feel the air moving across your skin. Slowly move fingers and toes. Inhale, reach your arms up by your ears. Take a stretch, exhale through the mouth. Bend your knees, roll over onto one side. Use your hands to come up to a seat with the eyes closed. Palms touch at the heart in Anjali Mudra. We'll complete offering the benefit of our practice to all beings and all of creation. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu 3 times. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings and all of creation be happy and free. Peace, peace, peace. Let's inhale. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you for sharing your practice. Oh, Kelly. Kelly, I'm so glad you came. I'm so sorry that's how you're feeling. Do you have support there that you can connect with? People you can go spend time with today? Do you have a therapist or anyone you can reach out to? You're not alone, love. You're not alone. You're not alone. Please reach out. Okay. Well, we have also, there's so many resources. Please feel free to DM me and I can help you figure out what resources there are for you in your city. Um, let's let's come together to help you find some support. What city? If do you feel comfortable sharing what city you're in? Maybe there are even some people on the app who have some good recommendations. Oh, you're in LA. Oh, yeah. There are so many wonderful ways to connect with community and receive support in LA. Thank you, Rhonda. Kelly, are you open to connecting with someone like Rhonda? Thank you so much for letting us in. Okay, great. So maybe you two want to friend each other right now and message each other. And Kelly, please do reach out to me. And okay, excellent, Rhonda. Thank you. Yeah, there's such a great resource for support in LA. Wonderful. And I know there are a lot of Insight Timer folks who are in LA too. So maybe there are some people who you can just connect with. Oh, you don't see any other comments. Okay. Rhonda, can you see Kelly's message so that you can reach out to Kelly? Or I'm just trying to think about the best way to do this so that we can get you in contact. You could also both send me a message so that I can put you in touch with each other. There are so many resources, love. I'm so glad you came today. You're so precious and so supported. Okay, well, you can please both reach out to me, okay? Both reach out to me and I'll make sure that we get you connected and Kelly, that we find you some support in your area. Yeah, appreciate you, love. Appreciate your beautiful heart and your vulnerability. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and letting us be with you in this moment that feels painful. And I also invite you, Kelly, join our group Love Heals All here on the app. There are over 1,000 people in the group. And, if you just share like, hey, I'm in LA and I'm looking for whatever it is you're looking for, spiritual community, a great therapist, we might also be able to give you some direct resources there as well. And thank you all so much for your love for Kelly, and thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time to be together in community and practice. Thank you for your donations. I'm so grateful for your financial support. It's pretty great. Many of you are aware that Insight Timer has made it possible for us as instructors to receive 100% of the donations now. So it's a wonderful support for us. So thank you. I'm just scrolling back because I know I missed some earlier comments. I'm scrolling back through, and then we'll start to come to a close. Um, hmm, okay, looks like we got all the other comments. Yeah, and Amanda is sharing. I may have saved a life, but Kelly, I'd like to say that you are a gift to you, and you're a gift to each of us. Your expression of vulnerability and letting us be with you. That's a gift, my love. You're a gift. And your willingness to be here, you you are the reason. You have so much more power and beauty within you than you can probably even imagine. I don't think any of us really know the power and the beauty that we have. And you have all of that within you. And it is your willingness to be here, to let us be with you. Yes, that is your beauty. Just part of it. I'm sure it extends far beyond that. So thank you. If you haven't already, I don't have my phone right here, but if you haven't already, please make sure to message me. Yes, and on let's see, I can't share my website here. I just want to make sure that you contact me. So on if for any reason you're having an issue sending me a message here on the app, on my profile page here on the app, there's a website. listed. You can go to that website and you can see other ways to contact me if you're not able to do that for some reason directly through my DMs here. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Let's send all of our love to Kelly. Let's just hold Kelly in our hearts right now. Just holding you so close, love, right here. In this warmth of love, in this warmth of care. If it feels comfortable too, just let it in, my love. All of these comments that have been coming through with care for you, you're not alone. You're truly not. I know it can really feel that way sometimes, especially when we move to a new city and it's a new life. And, there are certain places on the planet where it's even harder to move to a new city, and LA can absolutely be one of them. So you're not alone. Let's connect. Let's get you tuned into some good support in your area. And may Kelly's heart and vulnerability be a reminder to each of us that we can reach out. Even if it feels scary, we can reach out. Always reach out, please. Please reach out. Okay, my loves. Kelly or anyone else, any last words before we come to a completion today? I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for this time together. Yeah, thank you, love. Thank you for being here. I'm just holding you so close in my heart. Consensually. You can come in as close or not close as you like, but I'm just holding you in so much warmth, so much love. Yeah, right here, my love, right here, right here. Okay. I don't want to go. Did you send me a message yet? Did you send me an email, Kelly? Anyone else want to? Okay, please do. Anyone else have any loving or supportive words they want to share before we complete today? Each of us has our own wisdom. We all go through dark periods, and each of us also has wisdom. Yeah, me neither. We can hang out a little longer. We don't have to go yet. Anyone else want to share any wisdom or love for the community today? Or anything else you feel like sharing? We can hang out a little longer. I don't have a client right now. Why don't let's see, what do I want to read today? I know I have Ma's book right here, so I'll just grab Ma's book and we'll read a little bit from that before we go today. We often read from my beloved teacher's book when we have our satsangs that are usually on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's called Conscious Living. And how about I'll just randomly open to a page, Kelly, and we'll see what the message is. Okay? I don't know what it's going to say. Oh, that's a not a page with something to read. Okay. So, we're just going to what I just opened to. And it's actually the very beginning of the book, and it says, "You are multidimensional." And, there's this picture. Do I have a picture of it somewhere nearby? I do have kind of this picture right here. Oh, no, hold on 1 second, 1 second. Okay. So, uh, a picture very similar to this is in the book. Kelly, you still there? And, it gets referenced, so I wanted to give you something that you could actually see. So here's the picture. Okay, great. Here's the picture, and it is a picture that is referred to often as the I am presence. And we see here this little person down here. This is us in our physical body. And of course, if this sounds like a bunch of nonsense, just leave it behind. Yeah. You don't need to believe anything that I share here. So here's this little person, and this is us in our human form. And then we see this being of light here, and you can say this is like your higher self or your soul. And then we go up further, and there's this other being of light, and this is like our connection with all of life, our source energy that we're always connected to. So this tiny little person is who we think we are, but we're actually this magnificent, beautiful being of light. But we've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten. And we've become so identified with ourselves as everything we experience as human that we don't remember how magnificent and beautiful we are. So that's the kind of the picture here in the book. And Saima says, many of you are seeing this image for the first time. Take a moment to really look at what you truly are, even if you have forgotten. You are much more than a physical body. You are all that is you are all that this picture of the I am presence represents. The I am presence is the highest dimension of our being. This image illustrates your true self. What is shown here so clearly is the basis of my teachings. This depiction of the I am presence illustrates the relationship between our physical body here on earth and the source, or you might say God. Source is within us, around us, and above us, all at the same time. This representation of our multiple dimensions serves as a model and guide to remind us of who we really are. Imagine a bright light that is Source or God or Allah, the essence of all there is, Source, creation, or pure consciousness. This divine light is not illustrated in the picture, but we can imagine this brilliance beyond the borders of the image at the top, in line with the tube of light. So Ma is saying that even above this, there's even more magnificent light, and that is that light of all of creation. To incarnate in us, Source passes through several dimensions, represented here by the figures and shapes. And then Ma goes on to explain a little bit about the figures. Um, but maybe I'll just read this last part and just kind of give a completion on this teaching here. The figure at the top is the I am, the supreme self. This figure symbolizes the higher dimension of who you are. You are part of God, regardless of your spiritual path so far. The I am represents the first projection of your individuality from Source, meaning this experience of feeling like we're separate from Source or God or however you'd like to think of it. But we're not really separate. We just have this experience of being an individual, but we can never truly be separate. The I am represents the first projection of your individuality from Source. The presence is all the pure qualities of Source in its perfection. As we are the presence in our essence, these pure qualities are our natural state of being. The figure in the middle represents your higher self. The dimension of you is the small inner voice. This dimension of you is the small inner voice that speaks to you and tries to guide you through the different situations of your life. Your higher self dimension lies halfway between your supreme dimension and your earthly dimension. Your higher self is a great source of inspiration and guidance. The person shown at the bottom is you, in your human form, experiencing life on earth. As you can see in the picture, love radiates from the heart, illuminating the whole body. Everything starts from your heart. It is through your heart that the human develops connections with spiritual dimensions. You generally believe you're only a physical being, which is represented at the bottom of the image. But we humans are much more than that. You are all these figures simultaneously, the whole image at the same time. You are source, this pure energy. So I don't know if what that is waking up in your awareness, my love, but it's the page that opened up for you. And I often find that when I go for it and just open the page, it brings the message we're needing. Ah, yeah, turning on a light bulb a little bit. And again, some of us don't believe in things like God or source or any of that. So you can just take it or leave it. If it brings a sense of belonging, understanding, comfort, beautiful. If it doesn't, leave it, right? Great, 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 great. Ah, Kelly is sharing, yes, I really needed that. It resonates greatly with what I've been trying to understand lately through samadhi. Ah, beautiful, my love. Beautiful. So samadhi is that state, that state of enlightenment, that state of oneness with all that is. Yes. And many of us in our experience, rather than knowing that we are that I am that I am, we think we're only this. So, one way we could even explore the idea of samadhi is the awakening to not only having a concept that we are everything, but having an experience of being one with all of creation, where there is no more Kelly, there's no more Selena, there's no more I, me, my. There is the great gift of presence in all that is. And I'm not in an enlightened state consciously, so I can't really say what it is. But of course, when we explore what samadhi is, it is that ultimate ascended consciousness of oneness. Great, my love. So reach out. Let's connect more. We can find you people for support in LA, and I can also share some resources with you that might be helpful. You might even find that reading Ma's book, might really help you feel uh, more like whatever you're going through in your journey right now and your spiritual path right now is maybe part of that process of healing. Who knows, right? So let's find you some support, people in your area, and we'll find you some other things too, that maybe different techniques or exercises that you can use on a daily basis to support you. Okay. Love you all. Yes, my love. Thank you. I'm right here with you. You've got me now. You reached out, I heard, and I'm here. I'm here 100%. So let's make sure we connect, okay? Hmm. All right, my loves. We'll be together again soon. Again, next week, I needed to cancel our weekly satsang because I'm taking someone to the hospital for a procedure, but we'll be together soon, and we'll be together again, same time, same place for our asana session next Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And I think, Kelly, you asked a while back, you said, where am I? I am on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. Okay. Love you, love you, love you. Right here in my heart. Right here. Holding you. We'll be together soon. Kelly, I look forward to speaking with you privately. Yes. See you soon, my beloveds. I love you so. I love you.